In this exercise, I'm going to introduce you to the Adobe Bridge. Now, the Bridge is a separate application known as a Digital Asset Manager, or DAM for short, that ships with every version of Illustrator CS5 out there. It allows you to preview a folder full of illustrations or other forms of documents. You can also organize those documents. You can preview them if you so desire. And of course, you can open them here inside of Illustrator. You might think of the Bridge as being a bridge between the various CS5 applications, or you might think of it as being a kind of command central, like the Bridge of the Starship Enterprise. To get to it, go up to the File menu and choose Browse in Bridge, or you can press Ctrl-Alt-O or Command-Option-O on the Mac. Another way to get there is to click on this little orange bridge icon up here in the Applications bar. And when I do, I automatically launch the Bridge if it's not already running, and then I switch over to it. Now, if this is the first time you've run the Bridge, you'll see an alert message asking you if you want to automatically launch the Bridge when you log into your computer so that you have immediate access to it. Well, if that sounds like a good idea, go ahead and click on the Yes button. I recommend No, however, because you can always launch the Bridge when you need it, and that way you keep your computer's memory free for other applications when you don't need it. So I'll click on No. And then I want to navigate my way to the contents of the O3 Open folder. So notice the basic interface at work inside of the Bridge. We have your typical everyday average menu bar, and I'm going to take a moment here to go ahead and maximize the Bridge so it takes up my entire screen. We have a variety of different icons and workspace options. I'll explain how the most important among those work in later exercises. We're currently seeing the contents of the desktop, that is your computer's desktop by default, and we're seeing everything inside the desktop here inside the Content panel. Now, your desktop may be more cluttered than mine, not anything to worry about. Notice here inside the Favorites panel that I'm seeing Desktop selected, and I could now go ahead and navigate my way into the Exercise Files folder and then enter the O3 Open folder from there. Or I could switch over to the Folders panel. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this Folders tab in order to switch to what's known as the folder tree. And the reason it's called that is because you're seeing all the folders and subfolders revealed to you like branches in a tree. I'll go ahead and click the triangle in front of Desktop to expand the contents of the desktop. This is also known as twirling open the desktop, using this twirly triangle right there. I'll twirl open the Exercise Files folder, and then I'll click on O3 Open in order to see the contents of that folder. Now we're seeing thumbnails of every single one of the illustrations in the folder. Those thumbnails, however, are way too small for my liking. So I'm going to expand them by dropping down to the bottom of the screen. You'll see the slider bar. I want you to drag that triangle over to the right in order to magnify the thumbnails to a larger size so that you can more accurately see each file's contents. You can also, by the way, take advantage of a keyboard shortcut, but it only works if one of the thumbnails is active. So I'll go ahead and click on a thumbnail here inside the Content panel, and then I can press Control+ in order to zoom in on those thumbnails, or Control- to zoom out. If you're working on a Mac, that's Command+ and Command-. You can also use your scroll wheel, incidentally. You can scroll up inside the list or down. Notice that you can also see an expanded version of the illustration over here inside the Preview panel. And notice that the Preview panel is scalable here in the upper right corner of the screen. If I drag this horizontal bar at the bottom of the Preview panel down, then I will expand the height of the Preview panel. Then if I drag this vertical bar on the left side of the panel to the left, then that will make the panel wider, and the preview of my illustration grows to fit. Now notice that this is a single artboard document that I happen to have selected. It's called Floral Background 20-1. That is, it's the 20 by 20 inch version of that very first artboard. However, if I scroll down a list to, let's say, 4-page floral 20in.ai, the one that I saved off in the previous exercise, then you'll see not only a preview of the first artboard in that document, but you'll also see some arrow icons below the preview that allow you to page through this document. So I can click the right arrow icon to switch to the second artboard, or the third, or the fourth, or of course I can enter an artboard number as well. So I could enter 2 for the second artboard, that kind of thing. Finally, notice down here in the metadata panel, which is by default located in the lower right corner of the screen. I'm going to make my preview panel a little smaller by dragging those vertical and horizontal bars. And the reason I bring up the metadata panel is because it lists not only this capture information in the upper left corner of the panel, and that's specifically applicable to photographic images, not illustrations like ours. We also see the file properties, which tells me the file size, that is the size of the file on disk, and its dimensions. But if I twirl close file properties and twirl open IPTC Core, and incidentally, IPTC stands for International Press Telecommunications Council. It's a group of metadata information that can be used by a wide variety of creative professionals. And notice we can see that the creator is set to Tolchik, and if you scroll down the list, you'll find the copyright notice and the copyright status as well. And then farther down the list, you're going to find out that this is a CMYK document with just 2 color swatches. So this document happens to just contain a white and black swatch. Other documents, if I switch to floral background 20-4.ai, you'll see that it contains lots and lots of color swatches, and these are the swatches that are automatically added to any new document inside of Illustrator. All right, that gives you a basic sense of how you work inside the bridge. In the next exercise, I'll show you how to use the bridge to open documents inside Illustrator.